Hey, so I have an awesome topic someone suggested to me, and I was like, that is such a huge topic and one I never would have thought to do myself, but is a huge, huge thing. Conquering emotional eating, or just ways to address emotional eating. I'll be looking over here because I have my notes over here. I'm a note taker. I like to research the subject, write it out, have my thoughts in a row. So, conquering emotional eating habits. Firstly, we need to understand what emotional eating is. It's a cycle. It is a behavior. So the cycle is something happens that upsets you. You feel overwhelming urge to eat. You eat more than you know you should, and then you feel guilty and powerless over food. And it goes over and over and over and over. It is a cycle. It is a crazy cycle that just continues and continues and continues. Secondly, we need to determine what's causing this need to emotionally eat. Realizing it is a huge step in and of itself because you're already acknowledging that there's an issue. Negative feelings can lead to an overwhelming emptiness or void, and food is one of the ways to feel like you're creating temporary wholeness. It's one of the ways to make yourself feel like you're whole or that you're doing something about it. You're taking your own power and you're allowing yourself to fix that void. So a lot of people retreat from social settings. They're not engaging in a different activity that could be a healthier way to relieve those unwanted emotions. Find something else that's healthier than grabbing something and mindlessly eating. Not understanding the difference between emotional and physical hunger, which I have some slides I'll show you at the end and I want to go over. I found them on Google, so if there's somebody's, please let me know and I will tag you in them. Knowing when you're having a negative self-critical behavior and causing this cycle of overeating or in some undereating, because I know there's some people that will overeat and then there's some people that are extreme and they won't eat because they're stressed and they'll go 3 days eating one meal each day. It is not healthy, and recognizing it is a huge problem, or talking to someone about it is a huge, huge thing. It can change your cortisol levels, causing your stress to rise and leading to more unwanted cravings, thus inducing the cycle again. Trying to cultivate an awareness and realizing your habit is a huge step. Finding the situation that causes these overwhelming feelings, and don't keep things that set you up for failure. So if you tend to always reach for ice cream or that certain snack because when you emotionally eat, that's what you go for, keep it out of your house, because then it's not going to be there. Or have healthy snacks prepped or something else. Finding other ways to deal with it until you conquer it. That way you're not setting yourself up for failure because it's not in the house. You can address the issue a little bit easier. Pardon me. Acknowledging your emotions, and this was a huge one and took me years and years and years to learn how to do, and there's times I still struggle with it. Learning to accept the bad feelings and the good ones. It's the bad feelings, sorry, this hair is driving me crazy. Accepting the bad feelings is hard. Nobody wants to sit with their own demon. It's extremely difficult. It's scary. It's frustrating. You're gonna have all those emotions. You're gonna have your gut and your heart beating and racing, and you're gonna have all the what ifs going through your mind. I've had to learn that I have to sit down and wrestle with myself, even if it's putting on music, crying out, whatever it is. I have to wrestle with myself and sit and allow myself to feel all the emotions. I have to let myself panic. I have to let myself dread. I have to let myself fear whatever emotions you're going through, and I have to allow myself all the what ifs scenarios and choose to push those down, give myself less self-critical talk and self-negative talk, and saying, okay, here's the what ifs, here's the bad scenarios, but here's the what if it happened exactly how you imagine. And moving forward with purpose and clarity. I was talking to one of my mom's really good friends, someone that I've grown up with, and we were talking just about different scenarios, biblically and stuff, because I grew up Christian, and we were talking about beauty from ashes, which is a common thing, whether you're religious or not, or Christian or whatever it is, a very common saying. And a lot of people think, oh, beauty from ashes. And we were talking about how you have to get those ashes first. You have to go through the hard parts first. It's an exchange. If you want beauty, if you want the good things, if you want this, you first have to go through the trial and the fire. You have to earn that right through those ashes to get to the beauty. So you're going to struggle. You're going to have hard times. It is common for everybody, and everybody goes through hard times and issues. Instagram doesn't show that. Facebook doesn't show that. Nobody posts the bad parts of their life. Everybody posts the amazing good highs, but nobody talks about the lows. And there are lows for every single person, for me, for you, for everybody. So I found sitting down, allowing myself to sit with my thoughts, as terrifying as it is. And I recommended Jay Shetty's book, Think Like a Monk, and he has one where you literally ask yourself, what am I afraid of? You give an answer. And that might not be the fully root problem. That might be a branch off the tree of your original fear. And then you ask yourself, well, why am I afraid of that? Why am I afraid of that? And when you get down to the root issue, you're just like, so this issue way up here wasn't the main issue. It was the one that was way down here. You have to find that root cause and the base of what you're afraid of, what you're fearing. Finding healthier ways to address and respond to those emotions. Realize emotional eating comes on quickly. It craves comfort foods. It leads to mindless eating. It isn't satisfied when you're full. It isn't located in your stomach, and it often leads to feelings of regret. Also remember, it takes on average, statistically, 66 days for something to become a habit, and that can differentiate by person and circumstances, but most of the time it's 66 days for a habit to be locked in. Working out, drinking more water, stretching daily, etc. It takes over 2 months for it to become a habit. Going to the gym every day, etc. It's going to take you a while to get out of this because it's taking you a while to get in this habit. It's going to take time to replace a negative habit with a positive one, because a lot of times it's an exchange. If you fail one day, don't beat yourself up. Don't be like, oh, I messed up. This is it. Oh, no. No. Tomorrow's a beautiful new day. You get a new chance and a new start tomorrow. Acknowledge it. If you need to keep a journal, write it down and be like, this triggered this episode. This is the foods I ate. This is how I felt after. Like, what could I have done instead to feel better? Writing it down and acknowledging it is a huge part. Acknowledge how you feel when that triggered your episode and how you could have handled the situation more ideally, which is what I basically just said. You get to make all the choices, whether they are easy choices or hard choices. You get to make those. You are in control. Let me say that again. You get to make the choices, whether they are good choices or bad choices. At the end of the day, you are responsible for your choices. And that was something I had to learn too. When I got frustrated with someone else or some situation or what someone else did, and I reacted negatively and decided to go eat a crap ton of ice cream. I was the one that made the choice. The other person didn't even know I was feeling that way. I didn't go talk to them and say, hey, like, that kind of hurt my feelings. I took that this way. Is this what it meant? So communication is a huge one too. And a lot of people don't realize that nobody else knows what's going on in your world. So you can find other ways to do things. Take a hot shower if you're feeling stressed or drink a hot cup of tea or a cup of coffee or whatever it is. Read a book, get outside, take a walk, put on music and dance around like an idiot, have a dance party. I used to do that all the time. For me, working out was huge. So if I felt something coming on, I would do like 10 push-ups or put on a video where I could do a 10-minute HIIT workout just to get my mind off of it. I work out to relieve stress. So if I'm panicking, if I'm in a situation where I'm like, heart's beating, feel like I'm going to puke, I'm going to go do a short workout. That is how I relieve my stress. So you need to find things that work for you to curb that emotional eating, whether it's overeating, where it's emotionally grabbing for something, or it is undereating. So let's see if I can open this bigger. Whoops. Come here. Come here. Sorry, my laptop's like not loving me right now. Can you open it, please? Thank you. So, I know this is kind of hard to see. Let's see if I can get it in there. So, emotional hunger versus physical hunger. Hunger. It comes on suddenly. It feels like it needs to be satisfied instantly. Not accompanied by symptoms, hunger, etc., growling, loss of concentration, irritability, a craving for a specific food, often high in fat or sugar. Isn't satisfied with a full stomach, causes feelings of guilt, shame, and powerlessness. Physical hunger is going to come on gradually. It's not particularly urgent. It is accompanied by symptoms of hunger, your stomach growling. You're like, man, I'm hungry, I'm getting irritable. You feel open to eating a range of different foods. It's not just one food that's going to satisfy it. It is satisfied when you are feeling full, and it does not cause negative emotions. So realizing there's a difference between emotional and physical hunger. Like I said, writing down those episodes, and if you want a video on how, and I'm not even going to say I've conquered it, but how I learned to sit with my feelings and reflect, like I said, I've had to sit with some demons. I had stuff from my past I didn't even realize was still nagging me that I never dealt with from when I was a teenager, when I was in my 20s. There was things I had shoved down, because that's what I did. I'd shove it down and I was like, we'll deal with that later. I realized for the longest time, I didn't sit still or sit down because I didn't want to let my thoughts come up. Like, I did not want to sit down because I knew once I sat down, my mind would start reeling and I would have to deal with all those inner demons and I would have to wrestle with myself. And I didn't want to. And I put that off for years and years and years and years. And it's taken me a long time to learn how to find healthier ways to deal with that. And there's times I still catch myself, if I'm stressed, I'll skip a meal. And I'm like, okay, no, that is not healthy for you, Christina. When you're skipping meals, when you're not being mindful, when you're doing these things, it is not healthy for you. And fitness teaches you so many things. It teaches you how to plan meals and track things and be more mindful. It teaches you that you are going to fuel your body. It teaches you that water is essential, sleep is essential. There are so many factors in your everyday life that come into play with fitness. It's not just working out and then going home. No, recovery, sleep, hydration, stress levels, everything plays into fitness and growing and being mindful. So I hope my little rant on emotional hunger, because this was such a good topic. Thank you guys for suggesting it. Such an amazing topic. And it's something I think a lot more people struggle with and they don't want to tell people. And I think a lot of people don't realize that how they feel, someone else is probably feeling that way. And people are so afraid and ashamed to talk to someone about their problems because they don't realize someone else is feeling that way. So finding a good group of friends, or being able to talk to your husband, your wife, your boyfriend, your girlfriend, your really good friend without judgment, or saying, hey, I need accountability. Can you please help me? Or can you please help me be aware and more mindful? You know, there's so many ways. Call a friend, go on a walk, etc. And I've already said that, but hopefully this helps. And like I said, feel free to message me anytime. Even if you just have questions, you want to talk. Like, as a personal trainer, I realized I kind of get to be a life coach too. In my younger days, I wanted to be a counselor. I wanted to do so many different things. And I love kind of chatting with people. And I think that comes as part of a job, is a lot of people use fitness or things. And it's the same thing with hairdressers too. Like, I used to do hair. People come to you and they just tell you their problems because they get to get it off their chest. Like, you hear so many stories in a day. And it's so amazing to get to kind of love on that person and nurture them and be a window and say, hey, maybe this is a different way you could do this. Or maybe, hey, like, get it off your chest and talk to me and feel better when you leave here. And that is such an amazing part of getting to be a personal trainer, is also getting to listen to people, love on them, and help them feel better and go about their day. So, hopefully that helps. I'm going to put kind of the points I talked about. If you want to screenshot it, if you want to do that, please comment. Tell me different ways I can serve you guys better, and help you with either workout routines or these little coffee chats from either my car or my house. These are things I absolutely love doing. I love researching this type of stuff. So have a great one.